Alright, what is going on, guys? It's KBZ, and today I'm going to show you guys how to arrange your beats. So a lot of you guys always ask me, how do I arrange my beats? I've seen a lot of you guys just ask over the months for me to make an arranging tutorial. So yeah, in this video I'm going to go over how I arrange my beats and just some stuff I've learned, because I pretty much arrange all my beats like with the same exact general way. So I'm going to show you guys what I do, so hopefully you can learn from it and sort of learn how to arrange your beats. But yeah, with that being said, make sure to go follow me on social media. My Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, it's all at KBZ the Guys, so go give me a follow on there if you want to stay up to date with me. What else did I fucking say? Also, if you want any of the sounds that I'm using in this video, the link is going to be in the description, so you can click that link and get all the sounds that you need. Alright, so yeah, this is just a beat I made a while ago. I actually made this beat last month, and I'm going to show you guys what I would do to arrange it. Alright, so first off, we have the intro. Most of my beats, I actually have pretty much the whole intro gross beated, and then it fades out when the beat hits. I do that a lot. I don't do it in every beat, but a lot of beats I do that just because I think it sort of makes the beat sound cool in the intro. So yeah, I have this sample. I obviously have my tag at the start. Some people just put it right at the start, or some people put it before the drop. For this beat, I have two tags, so one at the start and one right before the drop. So yeah, it's just up to you really. And as you can see, I have two different chops of the sample. So this part of the sample, hold on, I'm going to solo it without the gross beat. So that's just the flute, and then the other part I have is going to be the vocal part. So it's the same flute pattern, it's just it's like a vocal with the sample. So then for the intro, I have a gross beat right here. So pretty much what I do is I don't know like bars or anything. Like I don't know any technical terms when it comes to beats. I don't know measures. I don't know bars. I don't know like literally any of that stuff. So here I just put the vocals, and then I started to fade it out right here. I think of everything in claps. So if you look at the clap pattern, you're gonna have a clap pattern. In every single one of these little squares is gonna be a clap. So I think of everything in claps. So this is gonna be like a 16 clap. I'm gonna just call it because I don't know what bars are or anything. We got a 16 clap intro, and then the gross beat's gonna fade out here. And pretty much my main idea is, for this beat, I'm gonna have the main flute melody for the hook. So this is gonna be the hook, and what I do is I arrange it so that I have this is my little riser effect. I have my riser effect before the hook and at the end of the hook. So my hooks are gonna be 16 claps long. So as you can see, there's my patterns have 8 claps in them, so it's going to be 8 claps, and then another 8 claps, and then I'm going to have the first verse come in. So for the first hook, as you can see, I don't have any of the snares or the open hat or the kick, so it comes in just like this. And the key to arranging beats is you don't have to have super complicated patterns or anything. Like it's not all about having like a super complex beat, because most of my beats are pretty simple. It's just about bringing stuff in and bringing stuff out, sort of to keep the listener entertained. Because I know when I started making beats, I was always worried that my beats were too repetitive and it was just the same thing over again. But to avoid that, you just want to bring stuff in. So as you can see, yeah, for the second half of the hook, the kick comes in and then the snare comes in, and then I actually added this little snap too, just sort of to spice things up. And then yeah, so I usually don't bring the kick in until the second half of the hook. So beat drops. It's just the hi-hat, clap, 808, and melody, and then I bring in all the other percussion and really let the beat like hit sort of for the second half of the hook. And then usually I sort of start to bring stuff out again when the verse hits, but for this beat I did it a little bit differently. So yeah, right here for the start of the first hook, I actually pulled all the drums out except for the 808. So I have my riser effect going into the first verse, so it goes. So yeah, right here, there's like this little gap. I think that just sort of spices things up. So it's little things like that that are going to keep the listener interested. Because if I just kept everything in here, it wouldn't be as cool. It'd just be repetitive. But since I sort of took all the drums out for a second and then brought them all back in, it sort of adds a like surprise element to the song. And then I actually bring in the vocal part for the hook too. So that sort of spices things up because it just makes it so that the beat is sort of changing a little bit from the hook to the verse. Because if I had the same exact melody the whole time, it would sort of get boring. And then what I like to do is I like to add sub bass or like synth bass breakdowns. So after the 808 comes in and all the drums, I bring in a synth bass here, and then I use gross beat. I use gross beat a lot as an arrangement tool, sort of, because I will put a gross beat on like the melody, and that will sort of like change the melody and make it more refreshing. So I don't even have to make another melody here, but the gross beat's making it sound completely differently. So I have this this Nexus sub bass pattern, and the bass is, or the melody is actually gross beated, and then the gross beat comes off again. And this is sort of like acting as like sort of a break. Most beats I wouldn't have this long of a like a gap with no drums, but it really works on this beat because of the gross beat. Like the sample sounds really cool with the gross beat on it and without it. So this sort of is refreshing because I don't even have to make a melody that's new. I can literally just gross beat it and it'll make it sound completely differently. And then right here I have the riser again, and then the second hook. So same exact thing. It's just the same exact pattern where it drops and then there's no kick and no extra drums, and then for the second half of the hook I bring in the percussion and the kick. So yeah, then the same thing again, except for this time on the second verse I don't have the sub bass for this part, so it's gross beated with the bass for all of this part, and then the gross beat comes off. So yeah, every single beat I wouldn't do these big huge gaps with no drums, but for this beat it sounded good. It's all about the beat you're using or whatever sounds you're using, because depending on the vibe you want to go for, or the vibe the beat's giving off, you can change your you can sort of change the arrangement sort of to match it. So yeah, pretty much the hooks are always going to be 16 claps long for my beats, and then the verses are going to be 24. So yeah, I don't know. I just do that because I don't like really long verses. Like, you could make the verse longer than this if you wanted, but I just choose not to. And another thing you can do that I don't think people do a lot is, like, you could bring in the drums with no 808 on the sample. I feel like people are scared to take the 808 out of their songs sometimes, but it can offer like a nice little switch up actually sometimes if you take the 808 away and you just have like the hi-hat and a clap, you know? So that's another thing you can do, sort of to spice it up. And then the gross beat comes back in for the outro, and then my tag hits, just a little riser, and then I do a fade out. And I usually do a fade out, which is like 16 claps long, so usually what I'll do is I'll just copy the hook again, put it at the end of the song, and then I'll fade it out. Also, if you don't know how to do automation clips, to do a fade out, you just go up here to your master volume and you hit create. Here, I'll do it so you guys can like see what I do. So I'm going to delete that. All right, so to create an automation clip, you want to go to the start of the song, and then you just want to hit right click this knob up here, and you want to hit create automation clip. Oh wait, hold up, wrong one. My bad. So yeah, you want to go right up here to the master volume knob, and you want to hit create automation clip. And as you can see, the volume stays the same for the whole length of the song. And then what I'm going to do here is you can right click at the start on the dot, and you hit copy value. So then you can move this dot right here, and then put a fader right there, and then you could paste the value. So that means that this is all going to be a straight line, and that makes it so you always want to do that. Don't like try to just like do it by hand, because otherwise the volume is going to be like inconsistent. And then you can just put a fade out here, and you can mess with this too if you want like a more gradual fade out, but I usually just keep it with a straight slope, so it can sort of like fade out evenly the whole time. Alright, so yeah, also if you want to do an automation clip for gross beat, what you do is you go right here and you right click the actual like FX channel in your mixer, and you hit create automation clip, and then that's going to create one of these where you can just pretty much draw squares for the where you want the gross beat to hit, and then have it be flat where you want the gross beat to not hit. So yeah, I hope this sort of showed you guys how I arrange my beats. There's different ways to do it, but pretty much the basics are just, you're going to want 16 claps for the actual hook, and then you're going to want 24 claps for the verse. And what you do in those verses and hooks, pretty much you're just going to want to bring sounds out and put sounds back in, sort of to keep the listener refreshed so they're not hearing the same thing over and over again. I hope this video helped you guys learn how to arrange your beats. If it helped, make sure to subscribe and join the family. Because yeah, we're about to hit 30K. We just hit 28K last night. So hopefully we can keep going and hit 30K in the next couple weeks. So yeah, go make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at KBZTheGod if you want any of the sounds I'm using. Again, the link's in the description. I hope this video helped you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening or night or day or morning or whatever time it is wherever you are on the earth. And yeah, that's it for me. Hope you have a wonderful day, and peace.